Hey guys, Angry Beast here bringing you some domination gameplay on the map Stadium using the Akimbo Scorpions and a ballistic knife. And this is a very interesting match of domination. I honestly don't know what happened throughout this game, but we end up losing this game and I capture 9 flags. One of my teammates captures 8 flags, another teammate captures 6 flags, but somehow we end up losing this game. I mean, our whole team is just rushing the flags the entire time. We outkill the enemy team, but somehow we lose this game. I got a couple of really nice ballistic knife kills in here too, but this is just one of those games that just didn't make sense to me on how we lost. I did make a few mistakes in this game. I die in some stupid positions that I never should have been in, but overall, I just was confused at the end of the result of this game because I wasn't paying attention to the scoreboard throughout this game. I thought we had won because our team is up by our team is just capturing so many flags and I'm just killing so many people that it just doesn't make any sense to me that we're losing at this point. But it's one of those things where occasionally you get these games and it's one of those situations where you just have to learn when and where to pay attention to the scoreboard and realize what the enemies are doing and how you can protect against them. Ooh, nice ballistic knife through the window. My kill streaks in this game are the spy plane, SAM turret, I think, and care package maybe. I've been using the SAM turret a lot recently, and it's one of those things where it's very useful in a domination setup, but in a team deathmatch or a demolition, it's not that useful. Basically all it's good for is it's basically giving you a ghost for a 4 kill streak, and that's what I use it for. I mean, there isn't too much other use for it. Not too many people build up that many kill streaks in this game, and you can't really shoot down the SR-71s, so it's mainly useful for just clearing these guys as spy planes, which can help your team out in a marginal situation. But for the most part, you don't not dying simply because there's a spy plane in the air. You're dying because of other reasons, not just the spy plane. I get stuck by a Semtex there, and you know that seems to happen to me a lot. I don't know if I'm the only one, but it seems like every time I turn around, I'm getting stuck by a Semtex. But you know, it's not like they're overpowered or anything. I'm just bad at dodging Semtexes, it seems. Yeah. Here's another. Oh no, I thought that was the other ballistic knife clip because I get like a double kill with a ballistic knife later on in the game, and it's kind of cool when you get those clips because the ballistic knife is arguably one of the worst weapons in the game. It's very difficult to aim, and the fact that you can't aim down sights with it makes it a difficult weapon to use. But when you do get those double and triple kills with it, it's a lot of fun. At first when I started this game, I was toying about running around with just a ballistic knife, but it's one of those things where if we're getting dominated this many times in the game that it's not worth it to just pull out your ballistic knife and run around. But you know, the ballistic knife actually has a couple of advantages that no other weapon has. First of which is that it has a faster knife, and not many people know about that. I mean, it's one of those things where it's not that noticeable. I mean, it's only 20% difference, so it's not that noticeable. But it's one of those things where it can make a difference in some situations when you're knifing a whole bunch of people. And I hope, and I pray that in Black Ops 2, that the knife has changed. David Vonderhaar tweeted something about how Only Use Me Blade's going to be happy that they added something in the game, and I'm wondering if it's a change to the knife system. I think the knife system would be completely balanced as it was, with one exception. You can only knife if you have the ballistic knife out. One of the major issues with the knifing system as it is that I can do it at any time with any weapon, and it's always the same exact speed. However, if I could only knife if I had a ballistic knife out, or if I had the ballistic knife out, I could knife faster, and if I wasn't using a ballistic knife, it took forever to get the knife out, I think it'd be completely balanced, because the knife is one of those things where you have to be, you basically, it's completely luck in this game, and it never should be luck. I mean, the ballistic knife, in and of itself, is a very lucky weapon to get a kill with, but the knife itself should have to be timed, and it has to be something that you have to basically deliberate before you use it, because if you have it as just a luck thing, if I remember to press my button and I panic on my controller and tense up and I get a kill, it's really not fair. I mean, it's completely random whether I get a knife kill or whether I don't, based on how scared I am that a guy popped around the corner. And you know, that's why I plan a tactical layout, to be perfectly honest, because I don't like getting those unfair kills with a knife. I mean, I just don't like the feel of the knife. And one of those things that really bothers me is when I get panic knifed around a corner by someone who's just sitting there waiting for someone to come along, and they don't expect me to come the way I did, so they turn around and they panic knife. But, you know, I hope that that's one of those things that David Vonderhaar was tweeting about. And it would be kind of funny, though, if they did what These Gamers said, Tag said they might be doing, which is juggling knives. I think that had a different dynamic to the game if you could juggle 2 knives and instantly destroy someone as soon as you walked into them. That would be a funny weapon to use and just be more of a troll weapon. Oh, here's the double kill with the ballistic knife. Get one, I get the second. Yeah, double feed with the ballistic knife. That's one of those things that doesn't happen too often. It's just a fun clip when it does happen, and it's just really fun. I mean, the ballistic knife is just a fun weapon. It isn't too many ways about it. But one thing that I really have learned with the ballistic knife is that if you want to be effective with it, you need to reduce your sensitivity. Kind of like the akimbo weapons, it's very difficult to be accurate with them on a high sensitivity simply because you don't have the aim down sights advantage of aim assist. When you aim down sights, you get aim assist in this game, and you don't get any aim assist for hip firing in this game. So unless you're using a low sensitivity, you're going to miss a lot of your shots with the ballistic knife simply because you're overshooting a guy, which can even happen while aiming down sights with the aim assist on, because it just happens that when you're on a higher sensitivity, it's easier to just overshoot someone. And one thing that the aiming down sights does is it reduces your sensitivity anyway. So in the end, lowering your sensitivity is the best option using akimbo or a ballistic knife. Right there's what I'm talking about with the panic knives. I didn't deserve to die there. I had the akimbo scorpions. I had the better close range weapon, but he tensed up on his controller and managed to get a kill on me. Well, another thing that ballistic knife does that not a lot of people know about, I believe it grants you a 5% sprint bonus to your duration and your speed. So it's basically like a light version of lightweight and marathon, in that it doesn't give you the full advantage of lightweight and marathon, but it lets you run faster and it lets you sprint farther a little bit. So, I mean, it's worth it if you're going for a straight-up offensive class. You definitely want to put the ballistic knife on there and just rush that over something like a python or a crossbow, simply because they grant you higher speed and mobility, but it just doesn't really add up as being a very effective weapon. I think that's one of the things that I wish was changed, is that the ballistic knife was a little bit more viable of a choice as a secondary. If it was the only way I can knife, I think it'd be used a little bit more, because people like their backup weapons that they can rely upon and have a consistent kill with, and that's why a lot of people use the python, is because it has high damage and it's a consistent two-hit kill up close. And one thing that I hope changes is secondaries in Black Ops 2. I'm hoping that in Black Ops 2 they take a different paradigm for their secondary weapons. David Vonderhaar has tweeted that they're completely revamping the way that they do create a class, and I wonder if they're going to do something like a Gotham City Imposter setup, where you get any primary weapon you want and any secondary weapon you want together. You basically go overkill for free, and I think it adds a different dynamic to the game. It gives you more class setups that are viable, because you're getting to equip any primary and any secondary weapon. So I could equip a submachine gun and an assault rifle at the same time, and it's not really overpowered because you don't get the fast swap of the pistols when you're using an overkill or whatnot, and I just think it added a different dynamic to the game and a little bit more longevity to it. If I could equip a rocket launcher and a light machine gun, or I could equip a light machine gun and a submachine gun, I think it'd just be a cool setup for a game. Now, obviously, there are some flaws with that. You don't want someone to be sitting in a corner with two fully scavenger, two assault rifles with a silencer, and never run out of ammo. But overall, I just think it's a cool dynamic for a game. And Gotham City Imposters really does it right, because you can only regenerate health, really, if you're by a health station. And that requires you to move around, so you can't just sit in a corner and just be pretty much infinite health person. Because that's just not how the game rolls. And if Black Ops 2 could change to something like that, where instead of having to just regenerate health the way you currently do, is just by sitting in a corner and waiting 5 seconds, if you could regenerate health by going to a certain set position on the map, which isn't that well covered, you risk yourself while trying to go to regen health, and that just makes it a little bit more rush friendly, because if I know that I hurt a guy and I don't have to worry about him regenerating to full health in 5 seconds after I hurt him, I can go to a health station that's nearby, regen my health, and then continue fighting him, as long as I know that he doesn't go to a health station himself. Now, obviously, there's flaws to this situation as well. It means that if I'm trying to defend a point, I have to constantly be going back to a health station to regenerate health, but I just think it adds a different dynamic to the game. And if they are truly revamping the way the game plays, like they have tweeted that they are, I think that'd be one thing that could really use some tweaking, is the health system overall. But anyways, guys, the gameplay is winding down. We do completely get dominated like the entire rest of the game, but I just found it interesting that we were able to lose this game, even though we out-captured the enemy team, we out-killed the enemy team, and basically we just destroyed them in almost every single way possible. And games like this happen very infrequently, but they're interesting. I mean, I'm going to say this happens maybe one in every 100 games where you out capture a team, you out kill a team, and you lose. But it's just one of those things where this should really never happen, and I don't understand what happened. But I'm going to pause the scoreboard for another good 10 to 15 seconds after this game ends, because I just want you to take a look at it and see that something there just doesn't add up. Did I miss something throughout the course of this game that really changed how this turned out? Did they like triple cap us and I wasn't paying attention or something? But gameplay's over, ends up being a 28-17, and I get 9 captures, 6 defense. My teammate pulls 8 captures. I mean, it just doesn't add up here. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm AngryBeast, and I'm signing out, and I will catch you guys in my next video.